Good morning and happy May 1st. My name is Doris and this is the Knit and Pearl, P-E-A-R-L podcast. And you can find me on all the social networks. I am One Fine Cow on Twitter and Ravelry. I am Doris M. Smith, all one word, on Instagram. And I am One Fine Design on Facebook and my Etsy shop. So this podcast is going to be about knitting and crocheting and other fiber adventures, as well as my beading. I bead. And my upcycling and recycling using, Plarn, plastic bags to crochet stuff and all of that. My podcast will follow all the normal podcasts on crafting. I will talk about my finished objects, my works in progress, my stash enhancements, and my stories of the week. I also will, I enjoy Pinterest and the Stumble Upon app, and so I'll be sharing my finds there. So, this week, and as the beginning of my podcast journey, I want to talk about how I started knitting and all of that. So, I was first introduced to knitting by a friend in middle school, I think, middle schoolish. And she brought her knitting to school one day, and I was so intrigued, and I wanted to do it. And so I lived on a farm. My mother and any of my family, there was no yarn interest, no crafting interest. Mom never crafted at all when I was a kid because there was not enough time. She had 6 kids and a home to run. So there was no crafting. But when I saw my friend knitting, I was so intrigued and I wanted to do it so bad. So my first knitting experience, she showed me. And of course, I'm left-handed, so she was right-handed. And so I learned all messed up. So the beginning, I didn't have any knitting needles laying around. There was none because there was no crafting in the family. And I don't know how I got a hold of my first ball of yarn. But in my young ingenuity, I found my knitting needles that I could use. And this ball of yarn that I don't know where it came from. It might have been a Christmas gift and a little craft thing because my mom saw my interest. I don't know. But what I found to use as knitting needles, one moment. It's a pair of nails. Big, long nails. And so I was going to put something on here, but the thought of using these dull point to knit anything, no. But this is what I started knitting, and I don't even know how I cast it on. I don't have a clue, because I didn't know. And I just tried to knit the best way I knew how. When I started knitting, I was knitting always in the back loop. And I was knitting right-handed because that's the only thing I knew. Shame on you people. Anyway. Of course, at that time, I didn't have a book or anything. So I was just going by what my friends showed me. And I wanted to do it so bad. So I found these nails. These aren't the original. I went to Home Depot today and found them yesterday so that I could have my little props. So I don't know. I don't think I ever knitted anything. I think I just wanted to so bad, but there was not yarn. There was not a better knitting needle or anything, so I didn't go very far. So then my mother, knowing of my interest and that I wanted to do, I think I was crocheting something that I figured out. I don't even know how I learned to crochet. I just kind of was playing with yarn and made something that I don't even know if it's right. So she brought me this excuse me, she brought me this book home. So that I could look at it. And there's like instructions on how to knit and to crochet. So, let me show you a couple things. And mind you, I'm left-handed. So the way I learned was I looked at the diagram and I read how to cast on. And to this day, I still use the long tail cast on method. So, and at that time, I learned to do it right-handed because there was not a tutorial for left-handed people. Not at all. Shame on you. At that time, you know, this is like in the 70s, okay? So this is what I had. This book was published in 1966. My mother was cleaning houses for people, and this lady said, here, you can have this. And Mom knew that of my interest, so she brought it home. And so here is how I learned the knit and purl stitches. You know, this diagram, learning right-handed. So, that's how I learned to knit. Learned the knit stitch, the purl stitch, and I don't have anything that I ever completed. Let me look at this, sorry. I think I knitted or tried to knit, and this book is falling apart, because there's so much in this book. It's like all crocheting, knitting, handwork. Trying to find, I think I tried to knit a sweater pattern out of this book for a man. I had a boyfriend at the time, and I wanted to make him something, but anyway, I can't find it. Anyway, that's for another day. There we go. This book taught me how to knit right-handed in a left-handed body. So, let me kind of demonstrate with these awkward needles how I knitted in my young age. So, remember, I'm left-handed trying to knit right-handed, so it was very awkward. So, let me get back here. Hopefully you can see. So I stuck a needle like right here in my leg, and then I used my left hand but knitted right-handed, and I pulled the knit stitches off, and it was just awkward and very slow. I was a very slow knitter, so that's how I knitted. So what woke up me, what helped me learn how to knit right? At Christmas time, I received this lovely item. Let me zero it out to the home page. My iPad Air. Love it. This is my first iPad. I'm a spoiled brat. But this is the one that I started watching. Podcast. Okay? Huh, look at that. Look at all I have to watch. These are the podcasts that I watch on a regular basis. So I was watching The Homespun House when it was with Molly and Claire together. And I was watching how Molly could knit so fast. And her hands barely moved. And she knitted socks and socks and socks and socks. You know, maybe a pair a week. She was so fast. And the funny part was, in my early knitting life, I only knitted one project at a time. And I felt bad when I didn't want to do it because it got bored and whatever. Now, since watching all these podcasts, I have mini projects. I'll try to keep it to 3 and 4, but it's so much more enjoyable. And it's so much more enjoyable that I learned how to knit right. So I was watching her, and I'm like, okay, so I know I'm knitting wrong. And I was watching a few YouTube things on new projects, like I learned how to magic loop and whatever, but I noticed that I always knitted in the back loop, and I noticed that everybody else was knitting in the front loop, and how they talked about knitting in the back loop, twist your stitch, and da 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 da. So I was like, okay, so I tried to knit knit right-handed and a left-handed body, trying to do it right, knitting in the front loop and purling in the front loop, and it was just so uncoordinated and not what I'm used to. So I went back to my normal way, and then I finally decided one day I wanted to knit more efficiently and better. So I went on, God bless, YouTube and found left-handed knitting tutorials, left-handed purl tutorials, and I learned how to knit right. Oh, it was so amazing and so much more relaxing and so much more efficient. I was so happy. And I also learned how to magic loop. I love magic loop, and I knit in circles. My preferred way to knit, if I'm knitting a hat, a garment, is to knit in the round, and to use the magic loop method. Favorite all time. So I finally got the right needles, and just awesome. So that is my knitting story, up to date. So I will move on to my finished objects. This week on my finished objects, I'm just going to show you some things that I have done in the past, and things that kind of showcase my interests. So they're over here. I'll show you this first. This is one of my beaded necklaces that I have made. Love it. So, knitting first. Here is a pair of socks that I just finished a couple weeks ago. And it is, I don't have this in, I have show notes at my blog spot, which is, let me go ahead and tell you now, knit and purl with a PEARL /Doris.blogspot.com. You will find my show notes there. Plus, you will also, I don't know. You'll find my show notes there. But this, I don't have it in my show notes, is a pair of socks that I knitted. Just the plain vanilla socks, but the yarn I used is from Leading Man Fibers, called Bahama Mama. I love them. They feel so comfortable. The only problem is they won't fit on my feet. So I knitted them on size 1, which I won't do again and I did 68 stitches hoping that it would fit, because 64 on size 2.75 fit my feet, but these do not. So I'm hoping that my sister or my niece, who I'm seeing this weekend, will have skinny feet and be able to fit this. Skinny long feet and be able to fit this, so I can gift it to them. I love it. I don't know what the base is on this. It was just his sock yarn in Bahama Mama. Love, 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 love. Okay, so now we're going on to other finished objects that, okay, here is a beaded object. Okay, this is a necklace, and it's got a rose quartz frog, and I wire wrapped and made the pendant, and then I beaded with some rose quartz. I just love rose quartz. When I look at rose quartz, it is such a calming thing. Very calming. And I love rose quartz. Most of my beading is with the ones that I favorite and love a lot is with semi-precious stones. And this I made when I was going through a lot of stress and I needed calm. So, this calm, and right now I'm so calm. Touching this, feeling this. Love it. Okay. That's that, and I have my socks. Okay. So, this I crocheted several years ago out of Plarn. This is plastic bags that I collected and made into Plarn, and then crocheted this bag. Love it. And it's so surprising. This plastic, once you have put it together, made stitches, and is so strong. I mean, this is several years old and I use it quite regularly and it is just strong and amazing. Love it. And I just found the pattern online, crocheting with Plarn, and just go online and you can find the pattern. So awesome. Love it. Crocheted, by the way. Crocheted with Plarn. And let me see if I can, this is funny. I think this was a Shop and Save bag. This is like a Walmart bag, and this is Walmart. I don't know. This I think is Walmart, and this is Shop and Save. And I don't know what this is bag-wise. But I love this bag. These bags are awesome. And people don't even know that they're... I say, what do you think this is made out of? And they're like, I don't know, what is it? It's plastic bags. Awesome. I want to eventually have some plastic bags on my Etsy shop. Right now, I don't. Because there's never enough time to do all the stuff we want to do. Especially when, like most people, I have a full-time job. And so, anyway, struggles. Daily struggles of a crafter. And then I have some bowls that I made out of magazines. Magazines that go in landfills, you know. But this is a beautiful decorative item that you could like put, you know, at your bedside to put your, you know, pieces in, whatever you want. Or you can use it as a potpourri bowl and put it wherever. And it's so pretty and so nice. Magazine. And here's another one. It's different size, different shape. And what you do is you fold your magazine papers, you roll them together, and then you like telescope them out to make the shape that you want. Once you get that, you use a lot of, I use hot Mod Podge, whatever you call it. And, you know, coats. You can't get it wet though, okay? So it's not like a usable, a bowl that you put some liquids in. Some potpourri in, some, you know, junk that you lay on the side. And here's another bowl. It's a flat bowl. The decorative pot, you could put, you know, put it at the front door and, you know, throw stuff in as you come in the front door. I just love this. And like I said, I haven't put any of this on my Etsy shop, and I want to. So, future. So those are a few of my finished objects. And so, we will move along to my works in progress. And my works in progress right now are just knitting stuff. So let me review my notes, because they're in my notes. My first project is right here. And it is in a Neil's pottery bowl. Love it. Okay, there's the little loop that you can put. There's a little hole. Anyway, I keep my needle package with my needles because tragedy of tragedies, not knowing what size because you don't have. Okay, so this is a washcloth. The designer is Michelle Mattingly. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. And the name of the pattern is Wash Your Face Washcloth. I love it. It is so awesome. The texture is awesome. This is my second one, and I made, the first one was smaller. Well, I increased my stitches on this one to make it a bigger, because I need a big washcloth for this bigness, you know. So, I'm knitting it on size 2, 2.75, and they are my Turbo Addy. I use 40-inch circular. And the yarn is just, it's called Cotton Classic. It's 100% mercerized cotton in the color 3725. It's like sage or olive green. Hopefully, I'll be done soon. But this is something that if I'm sitting watching podcasts and I can't knit on my socks because I'm in a bad place, or my sweater because I'm in a place where I have to watch closely, this is my go-to item. That's why it sits in this bowl and sits right here. My second work in progress is a vanilla sock in my beautiful knit spin farm bag. Love it. Cows make me happy. And this is just an awesomely made bag. You can find her Etsy store or her store on Etsy that she sells bags and she sells some fiber. These bags are awesome. Love her. Love her podcast too, Knit Spin Farm. She's on iTunes. Okay, so here is my vanilla sock. Let me pull out my ball of yarn. It is knit on Serenity sock weight. I love this. I've had it in my stash for a while. I haven't used it because I'm just beginning to really knit a lot of socks because I'm just beginning to get the feel of knitting with smaller yarn, smaller needles. This yarn is, let me look at it might be better to look at my show notes. 50% superwash merino, 25% bamboo, and 25% nylon in the color Time, and it also has numbers. Time is spelled THYMN. Beautiful. Here is the finished, the part of the sock that I've started with another ball. Let's see if you can get the idea of the. And I'm sorry. I hope that you can see this. I will edit out what I need to edit out later. But it's like greens, oranges, and then in this part here is like a white, red, blue. I mean, this is the beginning. My plan is to knit them, and it's on Addy 2.75, size 2, 40 inch. I love it I love the 40 inches for Magic Loop. Love it. Other people can't take it, but I love it. I've gotten used to pulling it right into it. So that's my vanilla sock. My plan is to knit 2 consecutively. So I'm going to get this to the point of the heel, which is going to be a Fish Lips Kiss heel. Love it. And then I'm going to cast on the second sock and knit it to the heel and possibly go ahead and do the heel. Then put it aside and get the other one and do the heel. Just so that when I finish, I have 2 socks done. Awesome. So I'll put it back in my nice, lovely Knit Spin Farm bag. This bag is before she had the little iron-on things. So awesome bag. So awesome. And my last working project, another Knit Spin Farm bag. This one has her iron-on Knit Spin Farm. And of course, farm animals, and there's a big cow. Oh, love it, love it, love it. Okay. So in this bag is the free pattern, Garter Yoke Baby Cardigan by Jennifer Hole, H-O-E-L. And it is, I've just got a good start. I haven't got the sleeve part, but I'm knitting it with Leading Men Fiber Arts. Love it. DK yarn in the colorway Royalty. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And it is, I'm finding it, sorry. Superwash Merino 100%, and I'm knitting it on size 4, 3.5 millimeter turbo. Addy Turbos 40 inch circular. I don't know. That is it. I love it. And I've knitted this pattern and gifted it to my new little granddaughter. So the plan with this is if I run out of this yarn, which I might before I'm finished, is to try to add in another DK weight yarn in a contrasting color to finish it. But that's the ball of the Royalty. I really love this yarn. Leading Man Fiber Arts. Okay, put it back in my Knit Spin Farm bag. and put it away for now. Okay, so that is my works in progress. So now we move on to stash enhancement. Last Saturday, I was looking for a place that I could look at and play with a spinning wheel because I want to spin. About a month or 2 months ago, I bought a spindle and some fiber on, it's an Etsy shop, a drop spindle. And I'm not very good at it. Not at all. Not good at it. So here is my drop spindle hell. I love this fiber and I want to be able to like do it more justice, but this is not a happy thing for me. This drop spindle, I am not a drop spindle queen. So, but I want to make yarn. I want to be able to make this beautiful yarn that I see hand spun on other people's, and I want to do that. So hopefully, I will be getting a spinning wheel, a ladybug, for my birthday, which is next Friday. But I probably won't get it until the middle of the month. But that's my drop spindle hell. I'm not good at it, and it's so disappointing. So hopefully, I went to this shop, my new favorite shop. It's called Knitopia. What is it called? Let me make sure I got this right. Knitorious, and it's in South St. Louis, on the corner of Watson and Bradley. Such an awesome place. I've been to several yarn stores and in the area, and this one by far was the most welcoming and friendly place to go. So I recommend Knitorious on Watson and Bradley, and I think it's like South St. Louis area. So the owner, I think it was the owner, let me play with her ladybug, her own personal, and gave me some roving just to play with. I'm like, what? And I didn't have to pay for it. So I was so scared and so nervous, and you know, when you're trying out something and you don't really know what you're doing and somebody's watching you, it's so anyway, I just learned how to treadle and get comfortable, and you know, so I'm very excited. However, while I was there, I bought some sock yarn. So let me get that. I have it with a bunch of my stuff, but I'm going to show you the 2 balls of sock yarn that I purchased at Knitorious. The first one was a Baracco sock. So I like the color, and I can't wait to have a sock like that. And it is Baracco sock, and it is 75% superwash merino, or superwash wool, it doesn't say merino, and 25% nylon, in the colorway 1463. But I love the colors, the greens, the blues, the pinks. Can't wait to see it in a sock. And I bought some sparkly stuff. This is called Stiletto. It's from Plymouth Yarn. I'm trying to get it. I know. Sorry, I can't have my camera part down, so because I'll just keep looking at myself. So I don't know how this is showing up. It is made out of, let me find it, 70% superwash merino, 23% nylon, and 70% Lorax, which is the sparkly, I'm assuming. Made in Romania, Plymouth Yarn. Beautiful. Another beautiful pair of socks in my future. So I was one of those knitters who knitted the rag sock from Patton's Croy sock yarn, and so I don't have them on my show notes page, but I just want to give you a peek at socks in my future. This is a Patton's Croix stripey, pretty, 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 can't wait. Here's another one. This is Patton's Croix sock. If anyone has any experience with this, you know this is so amazing. I would show you my striped, rag striped Patton's Croix sock, but it was cold enough to wear them yesterday, and so they're in the dirty clothes. And this is the last one. It's a blue stripy color. Patton's Croix. I got them at, I believe, Michael's. It's either Michael's or Joann's. Beautiful. Can't wait for socks. My goal is to be like everybody else and always have a pair of socks on the needles. Yes. So that's all of the stash enhancement. Let me put this stuff back. Put it back, put it back, put it back. Okay. That's that. And so the next thing I want to talk about or include is some stuff, Pinterest, my Pinterest stuff. So with my trusty iPad Air, we're going to go to Pinterest. I don't know. Okay, Pinterest. Let me just find it. I pinned it in by what I want to do. I was looking through Pinterest and this thing just caught my eye. It is a painted rock with the words, "Be still." And it's beautiful in the pinks and yellows and reds with the big "Be still." Beautiful, and I think that I maybe just needed to hear "Be still" at the time. I don't know. So beautiful. So I'm going to go into it. And this is from an Etsy store, which I didn't know at the time, but I don't know, can you see it? Love from Cape Cod. And she has a bunch of beautiful hand-painted rocks, but this is mine. So beautiful. So beautiful. And like I said, maybe it caught my eye because I just really needed to be reminded. Sometimes I just need to be still. Trust God. Keep doing what I'm doing and just trust. Beautiful. That's my Pinterest find. And now we will go on to, I have this app. I've had it for several years and I love it. It's called Stumble Upon It. Stumble Upon. And it's a free app. I'm going to go to, okay, so this is my profile page. I put it in my like, and you go to the profile, you decide when you're setting up the app what your interests are and, what your interests are, things that you are wanting to know about or, see about. So, and then you just stumble. You start stumbling. You just stumble. And it goes to, this is going to go slow. Your things that you're interested in opens up. Stumble. Or you can, this went into a page. Sorry, I'm a newbie. Anyway, let me get this back. Okay, so then it has a bottom, you can push the stumble button. And it goes to another page, stumble. And it just stumbles on your interests and things. So I'm going to go back. Yeah, I knitted those. I think I knitted those. Or maybe I wanted to knit them and I haven't knitted them yet. I don't know. Those are cute. So, let me go back to my profile. And, okay, come on. Where am I at? There's got to be a better way. Okay. So I found this website, the interest stumbled upon 40 food hacks. It opens to the page, and it's on BuzzFeed Community, and it's 40 creative food hacks that will change the way you cook. I was very interested. I want to share a few things with you. So the first thing on the list, adult candy ice. And so you touch it, or you go down here and touch that, and it brings open a website. Shows you how to make it, what the recipe, some recipes, and just cool, something little cool that, if that's something that you might like, if you're into that, that's kind of cool. So you go back, oops, okay. Go back into the page, open up, okay. The next thing I'm going to share is the walking taco. I thought that was so cool. That would be so cool if you had a bunch of young kids that you're having over for some tacos. You just get some cheap 25-cent, 50-cent corn chips, Doritos, whatever. You open up the bag and you put your taco fixings in on top, and you can walk around and eat them. So cool. So, also a little tidbit. You crack an egg, you get a shell in, and what you do is wet your fingers. They says, wet your fingers, and you will be astonished how easy you can pull these nasty shells pieces out now. The next thing I thought was cool, a little video on pancake art. And I apologize if this doesn't come out, because I don't have any way of knowing, but there you have it. Thought that was cool. A few more things, and then we'll move on. This is, don't do that, hash browns on a waffle iron. I thought that looked yummy. And the correct way to open a kiss. A little griff there. Sorry, I don't know what that is, but... And this is something that if you are interested, I put it in the show notes. You can look it up and see everything, but I don't want to use up all my... I want to show you this. This is a funny story. These are spiral cut hot dogs. I did this one year at 4th of July, and we have some young grandkids that, they eat hot dogs and macaroni and cheese, and that's about it. So I made these hot dogs, and the deal is that you cut them spirally, and then you cook them, and they open up like this. Well, my little grandson, Spencer's mom says, here, we have hot dogs. He looks at those, and he said, those are not hot dogs. Mom, put it back. Those are not hot dogs. Anyway, if you can get past the shape, these are really good. Yummy. You add more crisp and surface cooked. Very good. I personally have tried it. Love it. And s'mores on a rake outside. Like, I'm sorry if this doesn't come in clear. If it doesn't, I will just take it off. But it's like s'mores on a rake. Ridiculous. I have one more favorite to show you. And then we'll quit because bacon. This is a perfect BLT every time. You make little woven bacon bits and put them in the oven. Perfect BLT. Bacon! Yummy! Okay, enough tomfoolery. Okay, that's all of that. I don't know how long this video is. This is my first podcast. Thank you all for watching. Again, you can find the show notes, all the information, hopefully all of it that I talked about, in my knitandpearl/doris.blogspot.com. There will also be this video embedded if all things work out. Anyway, thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again. My hope is to do this once a week, once every 2 weeks, depending on my schedule and how everything works. go look at my Etsy store if you're interested. It's called onefinedesign.etsy.com. I'm again on Twitter as One Fine Cow. Ravelry, I will have a Ravelry group. Knit and Pearl Podcast. Also One Fine Cow. And I am One Fine Design on Facebook and Etsy. Okay, enough blabbering. See you next week. Bye.